Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest days, don't know where we are, or who we are. Here we came too far, in the darkest.
Just in case, I'm a hood nigga. I know why they love me. I want some underground shit, just like the subway. Battle niggas in the streets and murder whoever you want on this fucking stage. I'm the fucking plague. I'm global warming. I'm the Ebola virus. My niggas pirates. Prepare for violence.
What up, y'all? Planet of the Fakes Hollywood and Pigstar HH News. You may not have known it, but DMX did a riveting interview with my son, the General, and he basically explained for the first time how he got hooked on crack, and it was due to his mentor. He had a mentor at the time. I'm not going to ruin it for y'all because I want y'all to watch the little segment of the interview, but his mentor basically tricked him into smoking crack, and he's been struggling with substance abuse problems ever since. I included a history of his substance abuse problems in this video, and as well as the interview, you know what I mean? But as far as DMX's problem, despite all the ups and downs DMX go through, people still love DMX for what he did. You understand? You can't erase his past or even blemish it with his present of what you believe, or even past that you may have believed, due to the fact of what he accomplished, and he still has the rest of his life ahead of him. You understand? And that should go with everybody. People still have the rest of their life ahead of them. Don't get caught in a sunken place just based on your past, because a lot of people do their most greatest things later on in life. You understand what I'm saying? Look at Morgan Freeman. He started acting late, I think. A lot of people started acting late. Denzel Washington, not really Denzel like that, but 30-something, 40-something, that's still late, you know what I mean? So it's never the end of the road as long as you got breath to breathe, you understand, and blood to pump. And speaking of blood, y'all remember that album, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, All My... That's the jump off. He got classics, and people can't take that away from X. So shout out to X for, you know, admitting he had a problem, which he always did. And as long as he admit he got a problem, he can always do better. And he's there for his kids, you know what I mean? He makes his kids' birthdays and things like that. So shout out to X. Definitely check the video out. The link should be in the description if it doesn't start. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amor-eka.com/TV. That's our Planet of the Fakes 2. We are the new umbrella. Planet
of the Fakes Hollywood. DMX almost died from a drug overdose but was saved by Narcan. Was a drug overdose always in the cards for rapper DMX, who has struggled with drug addiction most of his life? One of rap music's most iconic rap stars almost died earlier this month from an apparent drug overdose. DMX, whose real name is Earl Simmons, collapsed outside a Ramada Inn in the city of Yonkers, New York at around 6:20 p.m. on February 8, 2016. He had apparently stopped breathing and had no pulse when police and paramedics got to him. On their scene, cops attempted to give the 45-year-old rap star CPR before a medic injected him with Narcan, an anti-opioid medication that can reverse the effects of a heroin/opioid drug overdose. The injection thankfully helped him regain semi-consciousness, and he was rushed to the hospital for further treatment. An acquaintance of the rapper who was at the scene that night told authorities that Simmons had taken a powdered drug before collapsing. Later, a rep for the rapper claimed it was just a severe asthma attack, but another source who was apparently familiar with the situation stated, "They're trying to cover up by saying it was an asthma attack." Obviously, they do not want to put out that this was an overdose. DMX's long history of drug addiction and abuse. Unfortunately, a drug overdose does not sound unrealistic if the witness at the scene is correct about him taking a substance just before collapsing, and if his long history with drugs is to be considered any type of evidence. In an interview with American TV host Dr. Phil in 2013, Simmons told the host that he was introduced to drugs at the age of 8 when a family member gave him marijuana. At the age of 14, he told the host he smoked a joint that was laced with cocaine, and that's when it started. He said about his addiction and relationship with drugs. It was something that drew me in, and trapped me, and just had a hold on me for a long, long time. When asked about whether or not he used drugs at the time of the interview, Simmons told Dr. Phil that he does smoke marijuana and drink sometimes. Dr. Phil expressed concern that by continuing to use marijuana and alcohol, he could find it a slippery slope back to harder drugs and addiction once again, but Simmons was adamant that he had control over the situation. Earl Simmons started slippin' in the late 1990s. 1998 saw the release of one of the rapper's famous songs, Slippin', which talks quite openly about the struggles he was feeling regarding his drug abuse. The chorus, which repeats the line "Ayo, I'm slippin', I'm fallin', I cannot get up," shows the hopelessness that so often follows those affected by alcohol or drug addiction. The rest of the song talks about his drugs of choice: marijuana, cocaine, alcohol, and how he eventually hit rock bottom knowing that his substance abuse had to stop. However, the interview with Dr. Phil, in which he said that he was not using cocaine or other hard drugs, but he was still drinking alcohol and smoking marijuana, was 5 years after the song was released. The dangers of drinking alcohol in recovery from drug addiction. Most addiction treatment programs promote abstinence from all substances, not just the one substance associated with the addiction, meaning that someone who lived through a drug overdose on heroin, then went to drug rehab, and is living a life free of drugs, should not start drinking. And while in some rare cases, it may be possible for a heroin addict in recovery to sip wine with his friends when out to dinner, and not slip into drug or alcohol addiction, that is typically not the case, and here is why. 1. Alcohol reduces inhibitions. How many times have you heard a non-smoker say, "I only smoke when I drink"? As alcohol lowers a person's inhibitions, they are more likely to make decisions that they would not normally make, such as having a cigarette or thinking just one hit will not hurt. 2. A drug is a drug is a drug. The American National Institute on Drug Addiction (NIDA) explains that within the disease model of addiction, a genetic predisposition is believed to be present, and an environmental event is also felt likely to be required, which means that because alcohol and drugs affect the brain in much the same way, those that are genetically predisposed to addiction frequently fall back on a substitute addiction or cross addiction, where they literally substitute one drug for another. Thus, if they do not go back to using heroin, the chance of developing an addiction to alcohol is quite high. Is alcohol or marijuana to blame for DMX's drug overdose? Because the famous rapper felt that he could continue drinking alcohol and smoking marijuana, there is a good chance that his drug overdose was in part caused by alcohol and or marijuana. It is still somewhat unclear what drugs the rapper took because there were no drugs found at the scene, but medical workers were able to bring him back to consciousness with the anti-opioid medication Narcan, which is a good signal that it was an overdose, not an asthma attack. Opioid drug overdoses can be caused by heroin, of course, but also prescription pills, such as OxyContin and Prozac, which are causing an epidemic of drug overdoses in recent years across the US and around the globe. Importance of early drug addiction treatment. Getting addiction treatment as soon as there is a problem with substance abuse is incredibly important. The sooner an addict learns healthy coping skills to deal with addiction triggers, the higher the chances they have of living a life free of addiction, and of course, free of drug overdose. If you or someone you know are struggling with addiction to prescription pills, illicit drugs or alcohol, please be sure to give us a call for a free assessment. The sooner you get help, the sooner you will be on your way to leading a healthy and successful life free of addiction. Thank you very, very, very much. Go to www.ammer.
But this guy, man, he introduced me to what would be the best part of my life, which would be the rap. But he also, at the end of my life, is blessed with the curse. And the curse aspect of it was, listen, I didn't smoke cigarettes, I didn't smoke weed, I didn't do anything. I'm 14 years old, and me and my man went to a robbery one night, and it was his birthday, and we came back, and we split the money. I said, "Here, take this, go get something nice for your birthday, whatever. So he came back with a blunt rolled up. And as I'm counting the money, he likes the blunt. And I said, I was impressed. Oh, I don't really smoke, nigga. Fuck out of here. And he passed the blunt around. And, wow. And I hit the blunt, and I'm like, I was no longer focused on the money. I never felt like this. Like it just fucked me up. I'm like, the fuck. And I later found out that he laced the blunt with crack. My thing. Why would you do that to a child?
Right.
And this nigga like 30, you know what I'm saying? And he knew how I looked up to him.
Yeah.
He knew how I looked up to him, you know what I'm saying? And like, why would you do that to somebody who looks up to you? Like, I mean?
Take your time, brother.
A monster was born. A monster was born. I mean, and I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I mean, like I said, especially with someone that you supposedly love.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Right.
I put that in one of my songs called Pain. I smoked crack at 14 for the first time. Given to me by a nigga that I idolize. My love is real. But after that, when I saw in his eyes, it was a snake. And who I love was just a disguise. So the person that I loved was a snake. And he acted like he was a good person. You know what I'm saying? He acted like he loved me. But,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Listen, man. That shit almost brought tears to my eyes, man. You know, mainly because DMX is like a mentor to me, man. It's like a big brother when I came in this game, and you know, hearing that story and just understanding how these so-called OGs prey on these babies, man. 14 years old and you give them crack, you know, like that's a lesson, man. This is a teachable moment, you know, and that's why I decided to do this video, man. There's so many of these young kids that's being led astray by someone who so-called love you, somebody that you look up to that's 30 plus and you damn near a teenager and barely a teenager, and they putting guns in your hands, they putting drugs in your hands, they're getting you high all the time. They don't got your best interest at heart. There's no grown-ass man giving you some shit that's not going to better you. If your OG ain't giving you some shit that's going to help you elevate your mind, body, and soul, he just an older, low nigga. These niggas don't have your best interests at heart. If they got you putting you in the line of fire, putting you in the streets, got you holding a gun, got you selling drugs, got you risking your life, risking your freedom, and they don't want better for you than they have for themselves, they not no OG. They don't love you. They using you, and they weak, and they cowards. And that's what this is why I say we in coward culture, because there's so many of those type of niggas running around here, coward culture, that people is looking up to because they so-called was supposed to be somebody, but they're not protecting these babies. They're not sending these babies on a better direction. They giving them crack. They giving them drugs to sell. They putting guns in their hands. They send them on doja missions. Don't let nobody send you on a doja mission, young king. Don't let nobody tell you to do some shit they won't do for themselves. And if they doing it for themselves and it ain't working for them, it damn sure ain't gonna work for you. So this is a teachable moment, man. Stop following somebody that ain't going nowhere. You heard what I said? Stop following people that ain't going nowhere. Stop looking up to niggas that ain't even worth what you are. A lot of times they prey on your strength because you stronger than them and you younger than them, so they utilizing your strength. There's a lot of these niggas is cowards, man. And I said it. So stop letting these cowards lead you, young king. Stop following these cowards, because they don't want nothing for you. They just want to use you.
What up, y'all? Planet of the Fakes, King of Content. Thank you for looking at my video. And also, I need y'all to basically follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is it ain't even POTF. It's just Planet of_the Fakes. Planet of_the Fakes. Subscribe to all my channels too. Mainly Planet of the Fakes, Umbrella Corp, POTFS, Planet of the Fakes Women Group, Planet of the Fakes 4KDZ, and make sure you like us on Facebook. Just put POTFS Global News. Thanks for watching our video, and definitely make sure you visit www.amordashika.com/TV, and that's basically where you see thousands of videos on our website, unflaggable, uncopyrightable. You could be there too. Just get your content together. King of Content, Queens of Content, Planet of the Fakes too. We are a platform. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amordashika.com/TV. That's our Planet of the Fakes too. We are the new umbrella, Planet of. And I wanted to bring some things to your attention. Oh, you know I'm going to follow that. You know I'm going to follow that. I'm going to follow that. Oh, I'm definitely going to follow that. I'm following that. I'm following that. Following that. Skip, 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 skip. Skip, 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 skip. Oh, I'm following that. 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 Oh, I'm following that. I'm following